A New Hope, Nier Chapter 120 Fan Fiction by Azazyel. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel for listening and patreon.com/Azazyel to read all of Azazyel's stories. Samus Aran typically preferred to do her jobs and travel solo. Due to her superhuman nature and advanced Chozo technology, there was little that her estranged Humanity Federation allies could do in her hunts to keep up. And as far as she was aware, the Chozo that had raised her had all but died out or disappeared from the galaxy. She never quite understood the whole obsession people had with using high-tech doors to block off things and places when many times, she could use the large pipes and her Powerball form to get past many blocked-off areas. Or even when she had the add-ons to her suit, she could just grapple hook or fly over and into buildings that were blocked off with doors that were locked behind doors with special energy signatures that needed special energy shots to open. But seeing the umpteenth door literally removed with the power supply cords dangling partly on the ground with the gaping hole leading to where she needed to go, she was stumped. As she was well aware that the space pirates and human Federation people wouldn't be literally removing every door and scavenging them for parts as reflective shielding and stable hard light technology on a stable platform were common technology to say the least. From the signs of the doors and other pieces of technology being taken without mass harm in the area, it led her to believe it wasn't space pirate activity, and she was dearly hoping that this planet had intelligent life. She could question what happened to the lives of the Chozo that were once part of this planet. As the deciphered readings for the warning she had received had painted a terrible picture of this world. As she was jumping from a flying boulder platform that had been hovered in the air via a nuclear-powered jet, she received a pinging warning from her ship that made her eyes tighten at the message in Chozo's writing that flashed across her screen. Space pirate frigate, Orpheon has been moved. Repairs are possibly underway. Her ship's virtual intelligence told her, and at that, her armored heels dug into the stone ground of the next platform she leaped to, and she dashed forward at a greater speed as her suit's internal systems went to work. She had space pirates to kill again. With her having not fully restored her power suit yet, she refused to allow space pirates to flee the planet while she was busy investigating what had happened to the Chozo of this world. As she had spent the last several months after killing Mother Brain hunting down the space pirates of planet Zebes that had her people's technology. Deep, actually very very deep underground the city of Vale, in an underground facility that spanned miles in all directions with all the mechanical facilities Yorha could dream of, that wouldn't be attacked by machine lifeforms, Commander White watched through dozens of cameras, drones, and satellite feeds. She was personally taking charge of monitoring all Yorha assets in that space pirate vessel, and already she had to decommission more than 3 dozen androids via remote detonation of consciousness and body, as many beings within the ship were tainted with the phazon that Jake was so terrified of. For all that her androids could dance between the shots of the space pirates and even take a few shots with their aura. It was terrifying watching an android's life signs get morphed and twisted when a fist-sized flying beetle exploded the blue glowing mass of corruption onto one of her androids. That android, who was unable to shut down with how the phazon was splashed into her face, had to have her empty husk after her current consciousness detonated, on the spot burnt away via the improved flamer that used a mixture of thick slurry napalm, fire, wind, and lightning dust that would basically make a sticky plasma that would burn hotter than the surface of the sun for a few moments. Only insane temperatures seemed to truly burn away the irradiant blue phazon, but it was all worth it. The technology used in the space pirates frigate and the very technology used by the space pirates themselves were indeed heavily advanced compared to their own in theory. But it was clearly made to be made cheaply en masse, and things made to be cheap and made en masse typically used simpler and more common materials. Already scans and studies on the nuclear reactors of the ship were being broken apart as the fissionable material used was found in the reactors were more to be commonly available materials like pure hydrogen and other elements that spaceships could gather en masse while they were flying through space. Obviously, the slipstream wormhole opening technology used in the ship's engines was going to take a long while to decipher and reproduce. Typically is what she would say. Commander White couldn't help the smug smile that came across her face as she read the data coming out of the ship's data centers explaining all the space pirates' technology in great detail due to the frigate being a miniature colony ship that was outfitted to be as self-sufficient as possible. Commander White. Jake, 2B, and A2 have killed the heavily mutated space pirate captain, and Jake has quarantined some Chozo tech that has been corrupted with phazon. Commander White eagerly looked over to see what transcendent technology Jake had acquired and quarantined, but at seeing Jake just making out with 2B and A2 as the rest ship was put into lockdown by Yora's software infiltration just made White facepalm and roll her eyes as she looked away to eye the cameras that were watching after Weiss Schnee, Glinda Goodwitch, and of course Salem. She of course as the head of Yorha and greatest supporter of Jake, clearly had to keep the closest of eyes upon the future generation of true humanity to be born. And nothing made her feel more satisfied.